Welcome back to The Nose Plays, Thea to the Shattering, with the Wrath of the Sea DLC, continuing part 3 of our Dzievanna chosen playthrough. I want to point out, I did ask in the comments section of an earlier video in this series what caused me to start with extra characters. And one of the viewers said that they're pretty sure it's because I started on a lower difficulty. I went back and checked, and I started at normal difficulty. So maybe that's just something that happens on normal difficulty. I'm not 100% sure. But, yeah, we did start at normal difficulty. I do not recall if in any of my earlier playthroughs whether I turned it higher than that. I don't think I did. So we may have always started with that and I just didn't notice. But we did start with all the characters that we chose. And yeah. So we're doing okay. We just had another elf child. Our first elf grew up and had a baby. So maybe we'll get something better for her or his or its class moving forward as they grow into an adult. That being said, we had some things going on. I had done a fair amount of scouting, and we found the Lightbringer camp over here, which we kind of want to avoid for a while. The Lightbringers are a very powerful faction, and not one that you generally have the ability to deal with until much later in the game. Particularly if you do not have a character with really high purple stats. Purple stats are really important for fighting Lightbringers. And the only time that I've ever been successful against them is when I had a witch that was quite high level and very powerful in her purple stats. So we'll see if we can't create that as well at some point. We were bringing our one group back, and I wanted to start doing some crafting, which I think we did. Does not look like they are crafting here. What? Are they cooking? Let's go to inventory. This will tell me what everybody's doing. So these two are gathering. 3 are gathering. And this one and this one are not. And I'm curious as to why they're not. I'm not sure what I had them doing previously. The only thing we can make at the moment is more of this. I think it would be good to do that, so I'm going to go ahead and put both of them on it. And because the amount of crafting they have is very high, we'll actually get several stacks of this. So we make 12 at a time. We'll probably make something like 24 or 36, maybe even more than that. Rollover isn't perfect, so it shows us how much rollover we have. But the rollover actually isn't as efficient as the initial one. So each time you roll over, I think it costs a little bit more, or you lose some points when you roll over. So for example, she has 228, and this only takes 50 to make. So you would think that maybe she could make 4 units of food, but it's actually probably more like 3, I think. Just because of the way the rollover works. But if we put them both on it, they'll make a whole bunch, and we'll use up a bunch of our fish and our vegetables to make bigos. So we'll go ahead and get that done this turn, since they're not doing anything else. I wanted to check my equipment, because, yeah, we did build a crafting tool for her, and then I put the other crafting tool on her to help her with certain tasks. Personal carry capacity is kind of irrelevant. Actually, this ring would be really useful on our hunter at the moment, because the hunter's the one that's going to be running around doing things on their own, and their carry capacity is going to be much lower. Also, this chick here is capable of using some tools, so we should put some tools on her. Yeah. Alright, so, and then I want to turn this on because I like seeing everything that's around me. This is where our character is. He does not have any movement, but I could camp and gather some coal. Let's see. Do they have enough? No, not quite between the both of them. We did switch out his bow for the javelins. And he does have a gathering tool, so that's as good as we can get it for now. Okay, I think we're ready to go ahead and end the turn. Yeah, look at that, 96. So actually we did make quite a bit. In fact, we made so much that we basically used up all of our, I guess not all of it, a fair amount of our vegetables and fish. I think we could go ahead and do this one more time, but I'm actually more interested in starting to craft some new items. So, we have a lot of this. And then we can do a raft or an idol. I don't think we're ready for either of these just yet. So what I really want to do... first, let's just take a peek here. Okay. Yeah, we got a lot of different types of food, so you can see that all of our morale is really high and our characters are way up here. On the flip side, our hunter and our rat are not with this group, so they're not benefiting from all this extra food, which is unfortunate. You can also quickly choose to use raw food or not. So if I want all raw foods to be taken out of the queue, I just do that. And that basically just makes it so that it reserves foods for crafting. I'm okay with them using up what we have at this point. Actually, I am gonna go ahead and undo those for now. And then once the party gets completely grouped back together, we'll uncheck those and give a very short but temporary boost to the morale of those characters. So do we want to do this for another turn? I don't know just yet. Let's go ahead and do this character for now. Yeah, we have 6 movement. So we can get to quite a few places. I think we're gonna move here. And then grab the spider's nest. We get to use our entire party. And we got some more meat. So that's good. Minor injuries to one of our characters. There's also the quest there. Can I reach it? Not quite. I guess we'll move there. Now I should be able to farm meat. Nope, still 2 turns. Okay. Perhaps I'm wrong on the rollover. Just out of curiosity, this 50 at 400 points would be 9 stacks of 12, right? Or 8 stacks. I'm not sure if it counts the first stack in that plus 400. It's definitely not, right? Yeah, that's the total. So it'd be 8 stacks. Yeah, so it was 8 full stacks that we actually cooked. I don't know why I thought that that was different before. Maybe it used to be and they changed it, I can't recall. I might have to look at the patch notes at some point and see. But I remember being told or reading somewhere that rollover wasn't as efficient. And so, for example, if you had, and maybe that's true for gathering and not for crafting. Maybe that's what it is. We can look at that later. But basically the point was, if you have, like, say, 2 different locations you can gather wood at, it's better to have a person in each one of those than it is to stack them on a single one, was the theory or the thought behind it, because the rollover isn't as efficient or effective. That may or may not be the case anymore, though. So if anybody knows, feel free to leave a comment to that effect and let everybody know. Could get her down here and make that, and then we'll have her make more of that. And he's out of movement, but he doesn't need to be camped.
Weary from your travels, you come across a small hamlet, and you are invited to rest and eat with the family. They also offer their stables as a place to camp if you need to.
Sorry, I'm going to chew in your ear. I'm having a little bit of a late dinner. We're going to accept hospitality.
You get a warm meal and are invited to listen to folk tales from the old Baba. The children ask you many questions about the wider world, and you are somewhat relieved when it is time to sleep. Woken by a distant tremor, you rise from the gravel and dust that surrounds you. Mere steps away from you, a deep gash has swallowed the farmhouse that gave you refuge the night before. Dust and debris are all that remains. You search the debris for other survivors. There was a family of 6. The little girl gave you her doll to keep you safe at night. There are no signs of life. In fact, you realize that it is very quiet and still here, as if time itself has halted. You look down the chasm to check for bodies, but instead of the darkness you expected, you are blinded by a ray of bright light. The light dims, and before you stands the family. Their bodies are twisted and broken from the shattering, but they seem unhindered by it. Their eyes white and focused, yet empty. Their limbs are loose, unnaturally relaxed even. At first you assume they are now unliving, but you can see blood still pumping in their veins and their hearts beating slowly. They walk away from you without a word, moving together in unnerving unison. Whatever these people have become, they are overfilled with the energy of light and harmony. This stifling, unnatural concentration of force is an abomination against both nature and intellect.
A difficulty 4 challenge is probably beyond our capabilities. I say this for several reasons. One of our party members is a child. 3 of our party members are gatherers, and we actually have no equipment that we've crafted above and beyond the starting gear or the crap we found. So we're
They continue to walk,
not going to
occasionally trying to turn to you and reach out with the oppressive light. Your divine bond protects you, and eventually the enemy moves away, blindly following some unheard call.
Leveling up our characters. Poison dagger. Strength or intelligence? Her intelligence and strength are mediocre at best. I think since she's going to be doing a bunch of crafting here in the short term, we'll go ahead and put a point into that. And then this is our gatherer. He definitely gets gathering. No question. We'll want to max that out as quickly as possible. Let's see. Alright, so we have different options. Some of these options are only available if you have certain classes, like the hunter. Other options are available if you have certain characters, like the rat. I think we'll use the rat. Why not? What else are we going to use it for? You barge in the nest and throw your weight around. You speak of the gods and threaten the rats with the might of man and divinity. The rats are so convinced by your words that they want you to be their new packmaster. You would lead your own nest, have many baby rats, and bring the word of the gods to the vermin. Agree to take on the responsibility and lose one rat, or do not follow your rat friend to leave. Kill the female rat that is clearly the architect of this disaster. Interesting. I really don't want to lose my rat, but I'm very curious what happens if we do. We'll probably get something in return. I doubt it's worth it, but just out of curiosity, I think we're going to lose one rat. Okay, so we got a bunch of mushrooms. 2 destiny on our elf child. That's kind of good. But not much else. Well, that certainly wasn't worth the reward. The rat character is not particularly useful. I was hoping to get more out of that. We did give up a character, after all. Yeah, just move over here for now. Okay. So we have 3 points to play around with. One of the things that we definitely want to consider is unlocking one of these tier 3 resources. Now you'll notice in the last video I talked a little bit about how tier 1s split into 3 types of tier 2, which then condense back into a single type of tier 3. So it's a very complex tree. Tier 4s are dual resources, so they're actually count as bone and leather in this case, and there's a combination for every one. And then tier 5 are the final resources, which are made from 2, I believe, of the other kind. So, interesting. And then you can see there's both improved and wild types throughout the tree at various tiers. So all of the tier 3 resources are normal type. They don't have the improved, which reduces their weight, nor the wild, which increases their essence, but also makes them harder to craft with. So one thing I'm curious about, it's kind of unfortunate the way this worked out, but we have a stack of mythical leather that we're currently not using. The unfortunate part is I don't have any way to gather leather that's nearby, at least that we've seen just yet. So because of that, I can't use coal to make even more. But I was tempted to grab this. When we do that, we'll get a stack of 10. Each time you unlock one of these, you get a free stack of 10, I believe. And it's just a one-time thing for spending your point. But it is a way to get just enough to craft something. So if we wanted to craft something, what would it be? This is interesting because it allows us to replace our idol with an upgraded version. That means we could potentially drop a village early and get some of these other buildings constructed. The buildings are useful, but they don't do nearly as much as you think they do. For example, the lumber mill gives you 1 wood every turn. That's not a lot, but that does mean that you basically never run out of firewood. I think one of the most important ones are the school, because this just gives you free research. But again, I think we're going to hold off on our building of the idol. I think what I'd really like to do is find some tools. The ingredients that we currently have access to are gold and malachite. So anything we can make out of metal and gems would be good, but we need like 2 tiers. So this is a perfect example. I could use metal or gems in the primary, which is good, but I have to use wood or bone in the secondary. And eventually I could use metal in the secondary slot, but we'd have to learn this all the way up to tier 3. We can also make wands, but we couldn't use our gems for wands until we unlock tier 2. And we get metal and metal, so we could make some like nice gold javelins. That might be good. Most of my characters are going to have high perception, so bows are probably going to be useful to craft better versions of, so let's go and grab that. And then you can get to the advanced versions of these things. By doing this, it also increases the amount of essence that you get out of items. You squeeze a little bit more juice out of the lemon, so to speak. And so if you want to build like the really, really good stuff, you have to use very high quality materials and also have the high quality expertise in weapons. Most of the weapons split or other items. So like for example, the bow gives you access to these 3 types of weapons, and then if you want to get advanced versions of those, you have to spend individual points. So it gets quite costly to go beyond tier 1. But if you think about it, at tier 1 you can get almost every type of weapon and armor with about 10 points. So there's only 10 groups at the initial circle. But it tends to make more sense to go down one tree or another. I think we definitely want this because we're definitely going to be building some wands and some bows and some javelins. Let's take a look at some of the other items. Scrolls can be really good too, and we can use gems, and we do have several types of gems now. topaz, and malachite were both nearby. So that's interesting. What's the second one? The book is gems, wood, or leather gems. So that might be another one that we pick up. I really like pole arms. Different weapon types actually have different modifiers in the combat system, which are pretty unique. Swords have like a slash attack that hits multiple characters in the front row. Axes just have really good damage on single targets. Clubs have like an AoE smash, and spears do something similar to the javelin with the first strike, which is really nice. We don't have many characters that are going to benefit from most of these, but I kind of want to build a shield and some armor. Armor is really important for everybody, so we're really going to benefit from that, and we can build armor out of gems early, which is nice. So let's definitely get a point in armor. And then, actually I can use gems and metal for shields. So there we go. Those will be the things that we'll craft in the early game. We'll get some bows, we'll get some armor, and then I'll start looking at whichever one of our characters is going to benefit from the book or the scroll. And we'll probably get that next. So now that we've kind of figured that part out, I guess the real question is, do we want to try and farm that topaz? I guess we can't now because I needed a point in topaz in order to do it. So what we'll do instead is we'll use what we have. So now we got all kinds of new stuff. Different armor types have slightly different stat lines and effects. Light armor. Ooh, interesting. I could use my mythic leather to build a pretty nice suit of light armor. But if I just make it out of gems, this will be very light. So this gives shielding in all 3 colors. So whenever we start a fight, we'll have like 9 points of armor. Now, if I use this mythical leather, see how high the essence is per unit? So that actually gives me 13 units in all categories. And then you can build elemental versions of armor and legendary versions of armor, but it takes a lot more essence to pull it off. And so really the only way to do it is to get some of the higher tier resources, like super high tier. And then in addition to that, have like the specialization in that particular item. So like 2 points of specialization in light armors, plus like, you know, some dragon bone or something might make a really good item for legendary. It'll still show you the stats of it though, which is interesting. And the types of materials you use will change these stats for these other types of armor. So this one actually just gives you 100% increase in your health attribute. That's actually really high if it is what I think it is. So basically it doubles your hit points. That's pretty significant. You don't get as much shielding, but you get a lot more health. It also increases your faith and your movement speed. And then the regular armor is just multicolored shielding. If we move over to medium armor, you'll notice that the materials we can use are different. But we could do something like that. And notice that this is going to give 24 points of shielding, but it only provides shielding in red combat, which is important to note. The elemental version gives you 9 shielding and everything and increases your stats, which is good. And then obviously this is a huge increase in all your stats. So we can't make anything that we don't get to at least the first yellow bar, so we can't make elemental armor out of these materials. However, if I replace this with, say, that, because mythical leather has more essence per unit, it actually pushes above this bar. And so I actually have the ability to try to craft this item. The only downside is I don't have enough mythical leather at the moment. I would need to collect a little bit more. So medium armor is really good for your front line. It's really good for characters that are going to be in a lot of physical combat, but it doesn't provide shielding in some of the other combat types. And then obviously heavy armor is made from heavy materials. Going to give you a lot of physical shielding, which is great. But because we're using all wild materials in this recipe, you can see we have a 40% chance of making garbage. We could fix that by swapping out, say, a big portion of the extra gold with dryad wood, which is a sort of a regular tier 2. And that lowers the chance of making trash, but it doesn't lower the stats at all, really. Because the essence of dryad wood and gold is very similar. And while we have more dryad wood, it's slightly lower cost or slightly lower essence. It's about the same amount total. So yeah, a little bit more on the gold, but not much. So, and then our shield. What did I want to look at for the shield? So we want to do something like maybe that. Yeah, that's not bad. 15 points. What do I get like from that? Same. That would be almost 19 points, but I'm missing one leather to make that happen. So we're probably going to do something more like this. So yeah, we'll look at a regular shield. And then I like to put light armor on most of my characters early on. Just because it's good all around stats. And it's typically pretty easy to craft. We could do something more like this though. That gives us 10 even. The weight's a little higher, but I think just about everybody could actually wear this. And at 13 apiece, I'm gonna have to find some more fur to make that happen. See, the problem is I don't have a source of leather, so I don't want to make a recipe that I can't reproduce easily. This is actually quite a bit lighter, even though the number's a little lower. I think this is fine. Alright, so how many characters do we have? Well, let's just look, shall we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus the hunter is 6. So I'm gonna need 6 suits of armor as quickly as possible. And actually, she has some medium leather that's better. So we really only need 5 suits right now. Also, I can't look at the hunter. What did he have? Yeah, his armor's only a 5. And hers is a 13, so yeah, so we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 suits of armor. So if I go to crafting and we make this 5, we're gonna need around 165 malachite to make that happen. That shouldn't be hard to do. And then we're only going to need 1 gold shield, obviously. Now, in order to speed this up, there's no way I can actually get to a spot where I can gather both of these at the same time, which is unfortunate. Pretty sure I clicked on gathering. There we go. So what we're going to do is put you guys over there. And what do we want her doing? We're going to be here for a while. Maybe we have you do a bit of research. 20 turns? Or 10 turns? Let's have her do the research on the creature. We'll probably be here for at least 10 turns, so that'll work. We got tons of food, tons of firewood, so we're good to go there. And he is out of movement. Technically we could sit here and gather some malachite with him, but I think it's probably better to just move him back to the group. At least in the short term. Okay, so then we actually want to get our cooks on crafting. So I guess the other thing we could have the little girl do is make some more. Let's see. She's only got 18 crafting. So if I put her over here, that takes 3 turns, but that's still something that she gets done a little more quickly than the research. So we'll have her do that for now. And actually, if I go to equipment, I could give her this crafting tool to help her, but I think I'm going to leave it on the elf because the elf is actually going to help in the item making. So first things first, we're going to get both of these two working on the shield, and we'll get the shield made in 2 turns, which is nice. Then they'll start working on the malachite robes. We can start making malachite robes, even though we don't have all of the resources gathered, and hopefully we'll get the resources we need as we're crafting. Still can't make it, huh? Alright, well, go ahead and move to there for now. And this group's just going to keep working on what it's doing. We'll get the boy, okay. So we actually ran into this kid earlier. And I remember we patted the boy on the head and we didn't get anything good. So he's back for more. The boy does not answer, only smiles at you and starts to play with the ball, but he remains close to your group and glances at you from time to time as if waiting for something. His golden eyes measure you with tenacity of a wild cat playing with its prey. You think this may be the fabled treasure boy. So he's a luck demon. We patted his head, we didn't get what we wanted. Beat him with a stick till coins fall out. Yeah, let's try that. You beat the treasure boy with the stick and he laughs hysterically, then disappears. Okay, well that wasn't the answer either. That is quite curious. I did not think beating the kid with the stick was going to work. I thought something bad was going to happen. Him laughing at us and leaving is not what I was expecting at all. It's quite curious. Alright, so we did get our golden shield crafted. Let's take a look at it. It looks like it's just a regular golden shield. We did not get a trash item, but we also didn't roll Mastercraft, so that's unfortunate. Mastercrafts are really, really cool. They have a pretty significant boost to their stats. But we can take this shield and put it on this character, and actually this character's weapon probably needs to go on somebody else. So this character has a destiny of 15. That sounds like what she should be using in the short term. And then we'll put a better weapon on her. I think the hatchet is what I had in mind that we were carrying around from our earlier expedition with the hunter. Okay, we got 10 more of that. get some armor here for everybody. And that can go on our chosen, and then we'll just kit everybody else out with armor, and we'll take these robes off of people as we make new ones. Okay, we did get some more of that made.
As the sun rises high, you feel its gentle warmth on your skin and rejoice at the growing strength of the light over darkness. But as you do so, you begin to feel uneasy. The warmth becomes ever more constant, unrelenting, the air stale and oppressive.
So we've seen all these before. I don't know what's going on. This is kind of one of the things that I don't like about the game. It doesn't recognize when it's already given you certain quests sometimes, and so you have the potential to re-roll quests quite regularly.
As you slowly move away, you soon see that the sun's rays are full of odd creatures. These light wisps are trying to attach themselves to you with their tentacles, and they are burning through your body and spirit. Your domain remains neutral to this assault, which allows you greater clarity of mind to resist the attack.
We're very good at purple now that we have our elf with a purple item, so I think we're going to go ahead and do this one. We could auto-resolve it, and it shows victory with injuries, but I think we're going to try to resolve it manually. Now, most of my characters are pretty terrible at this, but there's two characters in particular that should be pretty effective. That is our elf, and then our hunter has the hunter's mark, which we can use to great effect, hopefully. Unfortunately, yeah, we're not going to be doing a lot of damage, so we'll see how well this goes. One of the things that I think is important to understand is the layout of the board changes to some extent, so the number of rows that you get to deal with. And that can affect the way that you play cards. Because like I said, some cards attack cards on either side. Like a sword would attack this, and then also these two tiles. So putting a sword here would be pretty powerful. But putting a character with a sword here, you're only ever going to get 2 of your 3 possible attacks off. So where you position certain types of characters is important. This does true damage, as does this. So we have 2 attacks that do true damage. That's interesting to me because targets 2 or more selected enemies standing anywhere on the battlefield. Targets 1 enemy in melee row in front of your character. If there is none, an enemy on the battlefield can be targeted. So, good. Okay, so this is a good attack for a single target. This is good if there's multiple targets. Let's go ahead and put her in the corner. Okay. So right now, she basically has an option of targeting either of those on her combat. If cards get laid down, then the targets that she might choose for her attack will change. This is going to be the most dangerous card because it's got the most health at the moment. And it has the attack of 4, so what we're going to do is we're going to play his card, and we're going to target it, and so now every copy of this card will be reduced by 2 damage, so this will do less damage every time it's played. And then we got 1 point left. I have Protect Others, which is a pretty good ability, and we'll probably utilize that at some point, but we want to have more characters on the field. Increase shielding of 1 to 3 selected allies. think we're going to end our turn and save our point for now. Okay, so he's got 2 copies of that card. So I want to play a copy of her with this ability from this square. And then I've got 1 point left. I can roll that point over to next turn. And I can play his card for 2, and then I can play his card for 1. Or I can play his card for 1 now. It really doesn't matter though, because it's an instant effect. Okay. So we'll increase the shielding of our chosen by a couple points. And he's duplicated that card now, and that's fine, because I'm going to make it even weaker. And so now this card has 0 attack, and this is exactly what I was talking about with... Yikes! This is exactly what I was talking about with Hunter's Mark being a powerful card. So this card we can kind of completely ignore. We got to select the target for our skill. I actually want to target that first. Okay. Her ability to target 2 things is going off first. How much damage does this do? This is Ghostly Axe. Ghostly Axe does 18. Okay, so we gotta pick 1 target. So that should just kill that out, right? And then Ancestor's Voice can target 3 of 3. So yeah, that's how... I want to do it more like this, right? Because it's 13 to each one? Oh, wow. Does it do 13 to all of them? Yes, it does. Holy moly. That's
you remain
very
strong
powerful.
and balanced, committed to neither light nor darkness in your domain, so the wisps seem unable to reach you. Seeing their failure, the wisps flicker away towards the sun and disappear. You see burnt carcasses of bugs and small critters around you, but you also spot a small pack of oddly paired beings moving away in unison, as if trying to follow the wisps.
Okay, this is cool. So we actually found some tier 3 stone material in obsidian. We got 9 units of it. We can get up to 19 if we research it. And we can craft more of it. And make it from stones and coal. So that might actually be something we use to craft some cool items. Battle orders. We've already got 1 point in this. We did use it. Increasing it increases the shielding by a significant margin. Excuse me. Hopefully that didn't get through the mic. I tried to cover it up. My allergies are really bad right now. We have some really bad fires nearby, and yeah, it's putting a lot of smoke and crap in the air, so air quality is just really poor right now. I think we're going to level this up. This is a really useful skill, particularly with a young character like this that doesn't have any real combat potential. So you want to play abilities that are not going to actually physically put this card on the board, but just affect the board in a positive way. So that's what we'll do with that. We got some more armor, and looky here. So we were lucky enough to roll high, and we got a mastercrafted version, which has approximately a 2% increase, 3% increase, 2.5% increase over the regular stats. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that on her, because she is almost certainly going to be in a lot of combat. And then we'll throw this one on him, and we'll throw those robes on her, except they're too heavy, so we can't. So we'll just hold on to those. Out of curiosity, can she wear these? Yeah. And this is why I said gems are really useful. Gems allow you to get materials that are light enough that even children can wear them and equip them. It's really hard to equip weapons or tools on children because they tend to have very low carry capacity due to low strength. Alright, this is fine. We need you to join the group. And then we need to go to inventory. And we need to merge the groups. Alright, cool. Now everybody's back in one big happy group. Except that we're not. Yes. Everybody move into there. Right? There we go. Okay, so now we want him to collect some more stuff. I guess we could have him working on gold or dryad wood. The other thing we could have him doing, what's his research like? His research is actually pretty average. What's his crafting like? Pretty crap. That's okay. Both of these characters are coming off of this for a turn or two anyways. We can trash these for now. What else can I make? Oh, we got some new stuff. Okay. Yeah, let's get some of these other things made real quick. I can make something like a bunch of those. Not you. Put you on that one. That should be good. And then I can't make that, but I wanted to do research. And she has really high research, actually. So this is only going to take her 4 turns, and then we'll put her over here, and that'll take her 8 turns. That's actually really cool. I didn't realize her research was so high. Alright, and we got 17 more turns of accelerated crafting, so if we can get some more materials to craft some more stuff, we should. But we really need more gems, and we're just not getting them any faster than we are. I'm going to need some more. One more turn of gems, I think. That's good. She can come out of this. That can go away. He can finish that. And let's make something like crossbows. Crossbows aren't bad. Kind of heavy. Yeah, I need to use up some of this gold. So let's go ahead and make some crossbows. We'll make like 2 of them. It'll take her 4 turns total. Okay. 1, 2. A black cat crosses your path. Spit over your shoulders 7 times before walking onwards. This should stop any bad luck. Or, this could be a demon in cat form. Place a small offering of food on the road. If the cat comes to you, it will be good luck. If it walks on, it will bring misfortune. So there's a 50-50 feeling lucky punk type of one, or this one probably just has nothing happen. Let's offer it. Oh dear, the cat walked away, so bad luck may follow. That's not good. Could be something, some event's gonna happen in the next couple of turns. Okay, we got a crossbow. Who's got the higher perception? He does. Let's pull that wand off of him and throw that crossbow on there, and now, yeah, he's got like a 12 damage attack against red class characters. The boar, let's throw the boar on the child, just so he has some type of offensive ability to use. The hatchet needs to go on her. And then this is just a magic attack. Is it better than this attack? So this does 3 or 4 damage. And then this one just does 4, but it only... Oh no, this is in all categories. What about this one? Are these identical? This one's slightly better. Okay. Yeah, let's that's just a better weapon all around. Now the one advantage that this weapon has, I believe, yeah, is it has the hammer attack. So you see the little hammer symbol next to where it says weapon attack. So that's like a T shape. It's an AoE attack, so you can hit more targets than one at a time. And that can be really powerful, but I like the idea of having a weapon that can be used in red, yellow, or purple, single target, and is fairly high damage. So we're going to keep the wand instead. And then this character can carry the bow just for a turn or two until I get the other crossbow made. Alright, the cat has come back. Your home is visited by a black cat at night, and somehow you know you met this one before. It purrs and lingers in your household, avoiding direct contact, yet observing you constantly. And we all got an illness. Well, that's... The cat runs off when followed, but you realize the flea bag brought all sorts of nasty disease into your home. Damn the cat. But we got more research, so. Alright, we got a rats and bats nest over here we probably want to take care of here in a second. As soon as we get our characters equipped, we can start doing a little bit more roamy roam. He's done with this for now. She can continue working on that. I don't have any foods that I can make at this moment. And let's double check my recipes before I say that for certain. So let's see here. Yeah, so I definitely have some more things I can make. Because we can make like mushroom. Oh no, because we're out of fish. Okay, so not that one. Yeah, we really are out of everything. Okay, well that's good to know. We'll come here. We'll just turn all of these on for now, and we'll just use those. And that should get everybody up to here. And then, once we get everybody up to this highest tier of morale, you lose morale through various things within the game. It also, I believe, naturally erodes over time if you're not eating enough foods. So cooking lots of different foods is a great way to improve the chance of doing anything. You can see at the early levels you just get a little bit of shielding, extra movement, higher regeneration, task efficiency, view range is really nice, being able to see one tile further, and then finally another point of movement. So we got quite a few characters down here at max morale, which is good, and it's directly related to the number of foods that we've collected or cooked over the course of the game. Eventually, we're going to have to collect some more food and various types. The nice thing about where we started is I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different types of raw materials that I can collect right now. So there's quite a variety of foods you can make from those 6 resources. Okay, I need to double check. We should have another crossbow here pretty soon. Unless I am mistaken. No, we're just one turn away from that. And then we still need 3 of these, so once we finish this, it should automatically throw her in the queue for that. Okay, is there any more that you can cook? I think it says she can finish cooking what she started. So once she's done with this, we'll move her on to something else. Alright. So now we have our second crossbow. And unfortunately, this crossbow rolled bad because of the wild materials had a higher chance to roll bad, so it's not going to be as effective, unfortunately. We can put it on him, and in his hands it'll still do 7 points of damage. Not quite the 9 points of damage we were getting out of the other one, which is unfortunate. In fact, it's really not any better than the bow that he was carrying, except it's way heavier. Well, not way. It's 11 pounds or 11 units heavier. So because of that, I'm probably going to do something that I do quite frequently, and that is the recycling. So anytime that you make something or collect something that you really can't use, you have the option of breaking it into its components. You'll get small caches of the materials that were used to make it. So we'll get a little bit of our gold and a little bit of our dryad wood back. Not a lot of it, but some of it. Also, a wooden codex. I don't remember where we acquired this. It must have been... Interesting. So this does 10 damage, but it has some type of status effect. Yeah, it has a stun. Regular damage that also increases the target's delay, causing it to act later in the fight order. Okay, so it just increases the damage. And so it's kind of like this effect whenever you attack it. Random Blast is interesting because it's a pretty big AoE, but it's random, so you don't get to choose which targets get hit by it, which makes it less useful. I think we're going to keep the wand on her. It's more direct damage. And the most important thing that you can do is clear a card from the field before it gets to act. So that way it doesn't get to do any damage to you. So having a high single target spell is typically better than having AoE spells. But not in every fight. There are some fights where the AoEs are actually pretty beneficial. Nobody's likely to use this, or this, or this. So we're just going to go ahead and destroy those. And then this one's just wood and leather. So yeah, we're going to get rid of that too. The spells are cool in terms of their effect, but the damage output's just not good enough on that particular item. Eventually we'll find one or craft one that is, and we'll use those. I do have one person that is not busy at the moment, so Let's get these two over here and get that done. That'll be worth a lot of points. And we do have this now. So, unfortunately, in order to get obsidian, we have to at least get one of these materials first. So it's going to take us 3 points, 1 point for this and 2 points for that in order to make more obsidian. But then we can actually craft obsidian. The other option we have is we could get the topaz and start collecting it, or we can hold on to our point. We also had Shadowbone. It's kind of unfortunate that we have so many wild resources around us, it seems. Maybe it's not that many wild resources. I guess it's just the metal and the Shadowbone. We also have granite. Yeah, I'm not sure what I want to do. I guess I probably want to start collecting granite or quartz. How are we doing on this? So I just can't really get any more than I'm getting, because my two best gatherers are pretty much already doing what they can. Well, she can't make anything till we get some more of this material. Takes 24 to make a suit. Oh, yeah, she can. She can start working on this. Never mind. I don't think there's anything else we need to do. We'll burn up our regular wood before we burn up the dryad wood. Cool, that was done. So the research that we just did on the animal, what it allows us to do is, if we encounter that animal again in the game, it gives us like a really easy auto win, so we don't actually have to play it out with cards if we don't want to. I think I already equipped the crossbow, right? Yeah, because we destroyed it because it was bad. We wanted to craft some javelins, though. Those would be some really tasty javelins. Elemental. So elemental weapons have special effects, and the special effects are determined by the types of materials you use. There's a symbol for the essence for each material that corresponds with the symbols over here. So this is true damage and shield leech, which are both pretty powerful. This would be a really powerful set of spears if we could get it made, but I don't quite have enough obsidian. Also, there's going to be a fairly high chance that we make garbage out of it. I guess we technically could still make it just out of gold, but again, we're going to have a very high chance of making garbage javelin spears, and they are going to be pretty heavy at 140. Let's confirm that design, but before I accept it, we need to check his strength. So I need to go to this one. His carry capacity is 375, and these ones weigh 187. So yeah, he can actually do that, no problem. Okay. So Yeah, we'll just have her make those whenever she gets to them. Alright, strength, perception, or intelligence. So as I pointed out before, taking 2 points at strength is really, really helpful because it increases not only your physical health, your red health pool, quite significantly, but it also increases your carry capacity for your individual character as far as their gear is concerned, but also for the group. So we're going to go ahead and take the strength, even though perception is really good on hunters. And just make sure everybody's still working. Okay. Alright, so this character leveled up. He's already got a pretty high wisdom stat, so we'll probably put some more points into that and maybe try to make him our wisdom specialist. I generally think that if you just take the 2 points and things, with few exceptions, it's probably better to just get more stats. But sometimes the stat really is worthless, so it's better to take one of the other two. I like to take the 2 points early on, though, just so you can get kind of a jump start on your character in terms of sorry, lost my thought there. But yeah, take the 2 points just so you can get a good start on your points at the beginning of the game. 2 points at the beginning of the game is worth a lot more than 2 points 100 turns in, is basically what I'm trying to say. Because you start with smaller numbers of stats in the beginning. So, okay. We can take this out of the queue now. Our food and our firewood are still in good shape. Remember, I disabled dryad wood for the short term. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and move. Okay, she's almost done with this, so I guess we'll just. Can I put her there? Maybe do that, so we can get this done while we're waiting to collect more of this, because we need to catch up on the malachite production, and then I really need put that on you, put that on you. Your robes suck, so we definitely want to replace yours. Okay, so we still need 2 more sets of that. And once we have some gear and we have some food and all this other stuff, we can then do a little more adventuring, and it'll be just in time because wintertime is when you want to do the most adventuring. You get extra XP for completing quests and searching sites. Okay, Theodore. This isn't Theodore, this is this other dude. Yes, we're forced to play a game. Or the Dola. Let's go to the Dola. Okay. We are pouring more points into Destiny, so that works out perfect for her. We're probably going to get attacked by one of these things tonight. These are super aggressive at nighttime, and we're in the middle of a night cycle. We'll just keep working on that. Does anybody need to do anything different at all, really? I don't think so. Even though we're camped, we are still losing our purple stat, so that's good to know. You actually have to build the village in order to prevent the loss of your sanity and faith, or whatever it is. So she's one turn away from that. And she's 2 turns away from that. And they're working on that. Yep. Everything's working out just fine. Okay, so we did get attacked by the beasts. Auto-resolve, we get the perfect victory now. And we get some really crap rewards. Oh. And a new child. Interesting. Okay. 2 more research points, that's good. She leveled up. I don't really want to give her battle orders. She's actually more like a frontline champion with her high strength. We'll make her a little better at gathering. Alright, so she should have jumped into this queue. This will only take us a couple turns, but we actually... I think we need to add one now because we just got a new character. So... Alright, who can use this? You can use that. These leather robes are pretty junk, so we'll just destroy them. And then, so we've got 8 damage on the first strike, 12 damage on the attack, or 8. Oh, yeah. I didn't make it with a stone ingredient, so it doesn't have the secondary effect. That's unfortunate, but it's still a reasonably good weapon, and the true damage is going to be really helpful for killing things, as you'll see when we get into more fights. We can just destroy this for the raw materials, and I think we're about ready to break camp here. How much more crafting do I have? I've got 2 turns of crafting that I need done. These 2 can get it done, but I can actually pull her off and put her on, and we can actually get this done in like 1 turn now. And then the research, it really doesn't matter because we're not going to stay, so we'll just take both of them off of that. Maybe do some gathering with them. Not quite good enough. Make sure. Yeah, they both have gathering tools too. So I can't really increase their gathering stat any significant amount, so there's really not much they can do. There's nothing we can cook, right? Yeah. So we're just gonna have to waste some time, unfortunately. That's fine. Alright, so we're at turn 70 now. Yeah, here we go. And then we need 1 more suit for you, right? So do we... Okay, 1 turn. I guess we should have went ahead and gathered then. We would have been able to gather 1 bundle of wood, but it's fine. It's whatever. Okay, you fall into an underground tunnel and realize it's a nest filled with bones and rats.
We can just try to climb back out. Easy peasy. Alright. Now that we have some basic gear on all of our characters. Now that everybody has basic gear, what else do we need? So, what I'd really like to do is give her the inventor's tools. But we're out of time in terms of our crafting. But let's take a look just at our inventory and see what we have and what we could design if we can make it quickly. Or if we want to maybe use some of our tier 3 materials to try and make one. So that's going to be under crafting. Crafting tools. So what do we have here? I've got gems. Yeah, we're just like short on everything. We've used up almost all of our gold. The Inventor's Aid gives you a nice boost to your research stat, which is really helpful. It also gives you pretty good crafting, which is good. Yeah, see, that's just not as good. Yeah, we really want to use like a tier 3 resource for one of these, but we don't have enough. And I'm going to need way more research points in order to throw that in there. But if we did, let's say we did something maybe like that, or that. That gets us to 3.5. That also gets us to 3.5, but at a slightly lower weight. That gets us to 3.8, but at a significantly higher weight. Also do like that, but either way we're going to need to farm more materials. We're not going to be able to make this right now, unfortunately, so no sense in bothering. What about this? I haven't looked at wands yet, and we do have a wand. Ooh, what if we did that? Not quite enough to push it into elemental, which would do poison damage and shield leech, but it would have a lower base damage. I like this though. There's zero chance basically of a garbage item. This might be the way to go. Let's go ahead and confirm this. How many turns is this going to take with our 2 best craftsmen? Only 2 turns. I think we should definitely get this made and throw it on our chosen, because making your chosen your most powerful character is never a bad idea. Alright. So it's going to take us 2 turns and then we're going to get moving. That's 1. That's 2. And it is now wintertime, so we finished that just in time. Took advantage of every turn of extra crafting we could during the autumn months, so now experience points gained for events are doubled for all characters, and this is why I said
now's the time you want to be adventuring with your party as much as possible. However, we do have a snowstorm, which kind of sucks. Reduces visibility by 3 and movement by 2. Luckily, we're getting +2 movement from our high morale, so that's good. But we do need to go to equipment real quick. Oh, we didn't just craft one; we crafted a masterwork version. Wow, that's really cool. So we have a really slick weapon now. Look at the damage on that, like 34 points of damage. Double damage to pets, so any summoned creatures like rats or boars, spiders, does double damage too. That's pretty powerful, and it can be used in all colors of combat. Sweet. That is, that's kind of exciting. I wasn't even thinking about getting a masterwork version of that, but yeah, I'll take it. Okay. You know what? I think this is actually a good place to end this video. Maybe this was kind of a boring hour and a half. Unfortunately, it was a lot of collecting and gathering, but that's how you start the game off. At least in my opinion. That's one of the better ways to start the game off. So it just depends on what month you're starting into. Higher difficulties will sometimes start you in winter. So that's the way we did it. But this will be a good place to pick up when we come back the next time I make a video, and we'll try to get all of these quests done in and around us. We've got the curve game to go do. I think there's the Lightbringer camp that we're supposed to go visit. We're supposed to do something with the Lightbringers, so I think we have to go talk to them briefly. And then we have the rat's nest over here, so we got all kinds of things that we can take care of when we come back next time. This has been TheNosePlays. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. I'm going to continue this series basically until further notice. As long as I get a sizable portion of my viewers or random people watching the video, I'll keep making more content, unless I have extenuating circumstances like I have in the past. But yeah, I'm enjoying this quite a bit, and I hope you guys are too. And so